So this is the BMW DCT. We are using, like I showed, the clutch masters adapter and flywheel. This is out of a 135i with 40,000 miles. So just a note, if anyone is doing this, the dowels that they send, these are Honda dowels. Ask me how I know. So you need to get the BMW dowels if you don't have them, because the Honda dowels are too long and it will not go on all the way. So continuing, there's bolts here, 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 here. These three, or these four rather, are the big ones. These are the two short of the I think they're 12s. Two short M12s, two long M12s. We have an M10 right here, an M10 right here, an M10 right here, and then two 6mm on the bottom that I didn't put in yet. Starter clearance. So you do need to cut the transmission to fit the starter. This is the K20 Denso starter. It is shorter, so recommend using this one. And this is the clearance that you need, about a finger width. So start with that and then cut from there. And then for electronics, I bought the Seems Legit. They have a harness that kind of makes it just easier. It's all pinned. It already has OBD2 for programming, and then it has just Deutsch connector for making your leads. And it just plugs into there and then plugs into the CAN TCU. Yeah, that's pretty much it on just putting the transmission on. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, things that people don't talk about really are park deletes or using park. So this is your park solenoid. So like you can't spin it right here, but if you pull this up and spin it, it spins. So the two ways of doing it, or there's three technically. You can get the park delete, which just keeps this up and bolts right here. You could get the manual parking gauge from Seems Legit that just goes through here, and then you bolt it down to the chassis, and it's just a pull handle, and then pull it up when you want park, and then let it go if you or don't want park, and then let it go if you want park. Or you can retrofit the electronic. If you're using an electronic shifter, you can retrofit the actual solenoid with an output on the CAN TCU. I'm probably just going to get the park delete because I don't really need park. I have an e-brake. This was a manual car before. Plus, in case you need to push it around or whatever, you don't have park to worry about. All this heat shielding is going to come off. I don't know the clearance of this yet, truthfully. I didn't scan this one. I scanned the T56. But what I'm planning to do is throw it in the car, get it to where I want it, and then scan where the transmission is, and then make the mount based off of that, because the motor mounts are exactly where they're going to be. Just, it makes my life a little bit easier. Yeah, so we will see on that, but yeah, time to go throw it into the car. We have the K-Series going in. As you can tell, there's a bunch of room. I'm doing it from the bottom because I have to make stuff, so I have to see clearance of everything. So start off engine-wise, really tons of clearance. It's awesome. Let me scoot over. So what you do have to do is, I didn't show it, but on the subframe, you have to hammer down the motor mounts. There's a little tab that sticks up on the end. You have to hammer that down for the motor mounts to fit for the K-Power ones. I haven't done it yet, but those coolant lines you have to bend with a 3/8 extension towards the driver's side of the car to clear the edge of the manifold, or the valve cover, sorry. Turbo can go in, if you're doing it from the bottom, turbo can go in, wastegate can also go in, very close. I didn't want to scratch it, so I took mine off just in case. Tons of clearance over here, as you can tell. Tons of clearance up front. And then with the DCT, it's pretty close back there. So let's get on the creeper. So as you can tell, DCT is really big. So we're probably gonna have to drill the spot welds out of this cross brace for the trans mount, the OEM trans mount. I'm a little concerned about the ports. It's gonna be close. It just depends on how high it goes. I don't know what else we're gonna have to clearance. It's gonna be really close, but once we cut out that trans mount, you may just have to hammer a little bit on the side, like maybe right here. I'm not sure yet, so we'll see. But it's gonna be very close. This is the view up there right now. So you have to cut that trans mount out, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, so that's the clearance right now as it's going in. So I don't know what all I'll have to clearance on the side of the block, if anything. We'll find out. But this transmission is very large. So. Okay, so update on removing this trans brace. It fucking sucks. Excuse my language. This is absolutely miserable. So I'm using the this belt sander and a hammer and a chisel, and just slowly but surely. So if you're removing this, you have to take this one off first, which has a bunch of them there. That gives you access to that middle one right here and a couple other side ones, and you just slowly but surely work your way around to pry it all off. I'll go through here with a grinder and clean it up and then paint, but basically, yeah, it sucks. But it's necessary to fit the transmission. So just the process, I'm not going to show it because I probably look like an idiot doing it, and I'm making, you know, a bunch of marks and whatever, but you know, it's fine, you can't see it. But just know, if you're doing this, or any transmission really, 256 C09, anything but the stock one, which you still do have to cut for the stock one, that this is what you have to do. And I'm no body repairman, although I should have the experience that I rebuilt this car. Spot welds still suck because for a couple of them they were double leveled with the other brace, so you have to go through really thick steel. So yeah. Update, this is still absolutely miserable. I was using the sander and it worked all right. I have these little spot weld drill bits that seem to work a little bit better. It's just can't really get up to the top ones, so still slowly hammering away at these. Yeah, this is not fun. This is hour like fucking 4, but almost there. This thing better be freaking fast. That's all I'm saying. This is a lot of work. This is worse than cutting the frame rails off and sectioning them in. Can't even freaking tell though. Damn. Don't mind the overspray. It's fine. But yeah, this shit sucks. Okay, I know it looks terrible, but it's out. It's now 5:30. I probably started this around noon. So here's that, and then here's one side. I don't know the other side. Oh. So let me get some light on this. So yeah, so this sucks, by the way. So that was one. So in order to get the main one out, you have to get the side ones out, because there's spot welds on the inside. Just the top one, or there's two. There's one right there, and then one right there. I accidentally did that. I thought that was one that's not. Anyway, so you have to get the left hand and right hand small ones out, and then you can get the big hoop. So let me try and show you. It's really hard because it's bent now. And it's really fucking thick. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot. So the best way that I found out, you know, towards the end, there's your top 6. There's 6 on the top, and there's a lot on the sides. So the best way I did it was, you get this spot weld drill bit, you drill out the spot weld, and then you hammer and chisel it up. So this is how we're looking right now. Obviously it's not the prettiest, but I don't really care. I just did a light grind on this side. I need to do a little bit more on the other, but I'm just gonna hit it with some spray paint. But before I do that, I'm gonna test fit the transmission. But yeah, so this is how it looks. Obviously not very pretty, but once it's all one color, it won't really matter, which it won't be one color. I'm just gonna paint it a different color most likely, but besides the point. Okay, so current situation, we're about this far off from the subframe being all the way on. Obviously this transmission is gonna have to angle down a little bit, but this is how we're currently looking. There's a lot less room on this left side. I don't know if the transmission's centered. It's probably gonna have to shift a little bit, but it's really close right there where I kind of expected it to be close. So in this hump, and then the hump up there where my finger is, up there. So I'm probably gonna have to hammer that. But other than that, I think this side, I think height's gonna be good once it angles down, and this side has a lot more room for whatever reason. Here's Park. But yeah, so a lot more room on this side for whatever reason. I guess for exhaust, which exhaust is gonna be interesting to say the least. Probably gonna have to run an oval exhaust through there and then try and connect it to here. I don't know, we're gonna figure that one out later, but that's where we're looking right now. Yeah, so trans is probably gonna stay right there, even though it's really low, so we're probably gonna have to go up more. But the pan is actually angled from factory. So once the motor goes up and the pan and the transmission stays right there, I think we'll be all right. So I don't know how much higher I have to go with it. It depends on the angle of the drive shaft as compared to the angle on the diff. But we'll get there when we get there. I gotta get the subframe on all the way first, and then we'll go from there. But let me show you. I'm up top. So tons of room up top still. It's just, like I said, that area right there is close, but this side passes with flying colors because of the downpipe clearance. So, or exhaust clearance rather. Yeah, almost there. Fits better than I thought, to be honest, because this thing's freaking massive. In terms of, I have this covered, but that's clearance right now. You do have to bend these a little bit. You don't have to, I don't think, drill out the strut bar area. It's just, it gives you more work area to work around, so I probably will do that once I drop it again. But yeah, tons of clearance down here. It sits really far forward, like not farther forward than I thought it was going to. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Update once I get it closer in.